Daniel, the day after Lauren Giddings was reported missing in June of 2011. Reporter Michelle Casada found him standing outside the apartment building where he and Giddings had lived, and that we now know was the scene of the crime.
So the fact that you haven't seen her in 2 or 3 weeks, that's just odd to me. I'm gonna be honest, it makes me feel like you're not being honest with me, Stephen.
Person that was living there?
Yeah, Lauren was my neighbor. We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday.
Stephen, you're lying. Now you're lying.
I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
Now why do you say I don't know?
Because I don't know.
How would you not know?
How many times you gonna say I don't know? No.
I've heard people, Stephen.
I've never seen an interrogation where the investigators were literally pushed to the edge by the suspect like Mr. Stephen did. I have also never seen the words yes, no, and I don't know actually abused to the level that Stephen did in this interrogation. Hello everybody and welcome back to the damn sofa. That's the damn sofa and that's Mr. Roscoe P. Coltrane back there holding it down, and my name is Paul. Now today we are going to be going over another highly requested interrogation, case, review, commentary, whatever you want to call it. And the way that things work over here at the Sofa Squad is we're going to put up clips and I'm going to offer some commentary in between them, and that's that. As always, thank you to everyone who makes this channel possible. It would not be here without each and every one of you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now let's also go ahead and make a little bit of room back there, Roscoe, for our sponsor of the day here. We do want to welcome HelloFresh. Y'all, it's officially holiday season, and you already know this time of year gets super busy. Now, if you follow me, you also know I'm moving during this time. So I went ahead into the quick and easy meal kits this week, and I tried some of their ready set lunch meals with this go round. Hands down, I am hooked. Sheet pan pork sausage and pepper flatbreads, spinach capri salad, and prosciutto and mozzarella sandwiches. With over 35 recipes, there's something to please everyone. Quality is HelloFresh's priority. Ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. And as always, the portions are perfect, so you're saving time, money, and cutting down on food waste. So I went with the prosciutto and mozzarella sandwiches for this video, and I actually made this meal for dinner. It was a super long day at work. I had to get up really early again the next day, so I didn't have much time to prepare for the next day. HelloFresh has so many of these quick and easy options, like 20-minute meals and quick and easy cleanup recipes. So whether you're trying to make time for shopping, running around all those holiday events, or if you just want extra time with your family and friends, HelloFresh saves you time from the grocery store, as well as food prep time and cleanup time. Another thing I love about HelloFresh is how easy it is to customize things to meet your needs. It's also super easy to change up where you're having things sent to. So with my move coming up, I'm not even sweating that aspect because I know that they're going to make that easy too. And you know, they also have some amazing seasonal flavors to cozy up with, like cowboy turkey and black bean chili, mushroom ravioli with kale and walnuts, or sweet corn and green pepper chowder. And they also make food prep super easy. So not only did I get to have this amazing sandwich for dinner, but it was the perfect size and the perfect thing for my lunch the next day at work too. So go to HelloFresh.com and use code ReportingLiveFromMySofa70 for 70% off plus free shipping. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code ReportingLiveFromMySofa70 for 70% off plus free shipping. Alright, so be sure to check out the links in the description for them. We love them. If you followed us, you know that we've been using them for a long time here at the Sofa Squad, so definitely check them out. Now, real quick before we jump into some of the clips, let's very quickly go over what this case is about, who this is about, for those that don't know about it. So, like I said, the suspect and the accused, as well as the convicted, is Stephen McDaniel in this case. Stephen was a law student. Now, the victim in this case was a young woman who had so much much to offer the world and whose time was stolen in an absolutely brutal fashion by Stephen McDaniel. Lauren Giddings was her name. Her and Stephen went to the same law school. Now, she had recently graduated and she was going to be preparing for the Georgia bar exam. Now, this worked out to Stephen's benefit because she sent out like an email. She was reaching out saying, hey, look, I'm going to be under the radar. I'm preparing for this exam, so if you don't hear from me, this is what's going on. However, by June 26, 2011, McDaniel used that to his benefit, and he would take the life of Lauren. He would also spread the remains in various places. Now, also, you saw that news clip. We're going to start off with a clip of that first because this case is also widely known, not only for the heinousness, but for the fact that he learns on camera that they have discovered her torso in the apartment complex, one of the garbage cans there, and he freaks out. You can tell that this completely bamboozles his plans. Now, what also makes this completely tragic is that Lauren had suspected that someone had been watching her, and those suspicions were totally correct. She even emailed her boyfriend the night before that this event happened, saying that she, feels like somebody had recently tried to break in, like things aren't right. Now, McDaniel would let the investigators into his apartment. They would look around and they would find evidence and whatnot in here, and this is what quickly led them to being like, this dude's like completely off the charts, right? So he was cooperative at first, but then what we're going to see in the clips we're watching is he is just in this other world. It is super creepy, but also what is bizarre about it, and I guess it, coming from a law student, it's almost like, wow, okay, like this is literally what lawyers tell you to do, right? I mean, he just gave them nothing in this investigation. And so in a sense, he controlled this investigation, right? Or I shouldn't say the investigation, the interrogation. He controls this interrogation because he completely gets under their skin. Mind you, if you were having a conversation with someone that acted like this, they would get under your skin too, right? So there's that. Now, what would eventually end up happening is he would eventually plead guilty to these charges right before his trial, and he was convicted. He is serving a life sentence. We'll talk about that more after all the clips. So let's go ahead now that we have the palette of what's going on here, and let's start off looking at those completely eerie news clips.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time or anything like that?
No one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
And she just recently graduated from Mercer?
Yeah, she and I were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? What did you see her?
She's as nice as can be. Very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
Okay, so first of all, this is just a lesson to be learned. Look at how he is talking like he is concerned, he is a friend, he is a neighbor, knowing what he has done to her. Y'all, he hacked her up into pieces, okay? This is someone who is sitting here nonchalantly talking to the reporters. Was he eager to talk to him? Obviously to create an alibi for himself, because notice there at the end, maybe someone, yanked her when she was out there jogging. But also listen to his tone of voice, because when we get to the interrogation, it's my opinion that he sits there and uses this little boy, no, yes. Now here he does kind of sound like, blasé, whatever, but he has more, I think it's called inflection to his voice, more, he sounds more like a human. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and watch the rest of it.
Because we went over, one of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. The door was locked when everyone got here. We just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? We don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
God, he's so creepy. So first of all, also back to him forming an alibi when he was like, I mean, the door was locked. Remember, or not remember, but he had master keys to apartments in his apartment when they searched his apartment. So he completely had access to her apartment. He could lock it up when he was done doing what he did. Whole 9 yards, right? So again, it just goes to show, look at how methodical he is about trying to create this alibi. Look at the instant change when they said the thing about the body. Instant change. I mean, he was freaked out. Now, this goes one or two ways. At first, someone could be like, oh, what a concerned neighbor or friend that he's upset. But I mean, it stunned him. Also, obviously, knowing what we know now, you can just see the fear, the shock of, he literally thought he got away with this. Literally thought he got away with this. The absolute horrors that this woman went through in her final moments, I cannot imagine what this creep put her through. And to have the balls to get up there and to try and pull this off on live TV, to try and cover an alibi, never ceases to amaze me. Now, let's go ahead and start looking at the clips from his interrogation, and let's just let this speak for itself.
What? What's wrong? You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember? Put your hands up here. You remember us talking earlier tonight, right?
Yes.
You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When we came down here and talked a little bit and then we left?
Yes.
Okay. I need to know about this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
Okay, now, probably the investigator completely regretted when he said, look at me when I'm talking to you, because for the entire rest of this interview, Stephen does not break eye contact. It is so unsettling. It is so creepy that he is able to do this. Also, notice he does exactly what they say. Put your hands on the table. Okay, and again, right off with the tone of voice. Yes. Yes. Laura Giddings. And I'm just like, oh my God. I can't imagine sitting across the table from him. Now, also what will be interesting is how animated these investigators get with him in comparison to him giving them absolutely nothing. His ability to sit there with the hands on the table, yes, while the investigator's like, come on now, boy, go and put your hands on the table. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
We were good.
I mean, y'all were friends, right? Both of
Yes.
y'all are law students. You're studying to be an attorney, right?
Yes.
What kind of law do you want to go into? Criminal law?
Yes.
Civil? Is that what you want to do for a living?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, again, right there, you already know. So he's studying criminal law, so he already knows, right? He's not going to give them anything. And again, it's just so interesting, regardless if he's studying to be a lawyer or not, to see someone who is so able to go up against these detectives. Now, I will say this, and again, y'all know if you follow me, I am not in this business. I am not a lawyer, an investigator, any of this type of stuff. My sofa opinion of watching tons of these is I feel like these two investigators, like this, they don't do this too often. And probably a lot of investigators, maybe they don't do this kind of thing too often. I don't know. But it seems like at some point during this interrogation, and I might say this wrong, but the rudimentary tactics that they're using on him, it's almost like you need to turn this up a notch. Like whatever's in the handbook of this, go to chapter 2. Because the techniques they're using, I feel like, are from chapter 1, and they ain't working.
Did you used to work at the district attorney's office in Macon?
Yes.
Was you on the prosecutor side or the defense side?
Prosecutor.
So you were on our side.
Yes.
Right. You never worked on the other side?
No.
Did you like it when you were down there?
Yes.
Again, just furthering this, he's worked in the DA's office on the prosecutor side, so he knows the drill, right? And that is going to be an underlying element of this entire interrogation.
Just tell me what happened, brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I need you. I'm asking you for your help.
Okay, now remember, they have already talked to him. They've gotten information out of him. Now he knows, like, the clamp is coming down, right? He's like, you know, he is going to say, I don't know, hundreds of times throughout this from here on out. Just know that. And this whole line of, we need your help, this is where I'm like, dude, just move on from this. It ain't working. He sees through it. Just keep going.
I'm asking you as a friend for help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like he's a little kid, and that's what I'm talking about with this little, like, baby boy voice that he's using. I don't know. It's so creepy. It's so unsettling. And again, the whole thing that the investigators are doing with, I'm asking as a friend, I'm asking as this, it's just like, dude, this guy's past that, right? This guy does not have, he's not made of the same stuff that we are, right? This guy is crazy, okay? Like, look at what he just did to this woman, okay? This is not someone who's going to relate to someone like a, oh, we're friends, let me help you out kind of way. It just ain't gonna happen.
Did you think Lauren was your girlfriend?
No.
Now, this is like a reasonable question, but another investigator is going to get into some questioning about that I get. They have to ask certain things to poke and prod, but it, to me, just seems so inappropriate. Line of questioning, knowing what happened to her, and maybe he's trying to, like, do something at some point, but it just feels like ick.
What do you think happened to her?
I think someone took her.
Now, at this point, Steven should know, dude, like, they've got you, right? And again, he's just going to stick to his story and whatnot, but I mean, all the evidence that was in his apartment, as well as him going into hers, doing the luminol, seeing the tons of blood in there. But again, this just adds to the whole element of, he ain't gonna crack.
I mean, who would do something to somebody and throw them in a trash can?
I don't know.
I'm asking for your advice or your observation. Who in your complex would do something like that? You lived over there for 3 years.
Like he's gonna sit here and point the finger, and maybe they thought he would, right? I don't know. I mean, I think at a certain point they just got desperate for anything.
Tonight's the first night I think I've ever been over there. In your expert opinion, of all your knowledge of going through law school and all that, who in that complex do I need to talk to?
I don't know.
No names come to mind. You can't help me out a little bit?
Now, it is interesting how the detective is trying to cater to this, or possibly cater to see if, you know, this whole, all your expert opinion, all your knowledge, to see if that, you know, scratches beneath that surface, that gets anything, but that ain't even going to do anything for Steven.
I mean, why are you shutting down? Why are you not talking to me?
I don't know.
You don't know? Are you scared?
No.
I mean, it just gets to the point that it is so unsettling that it's like it's giving me uncomfortable laughter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just the voice that he's using alone. I don't know. I mean, it's almost like he's trolling them, right? I'm just like, dude, and this is just a few minutes into it, right? This goes on for hours, okay? So this is just a few minutes into it, and I'm cutting big chunks of this out, right? I'm just picking little samples to show.
You don't know.
No.
That's what you want me to tell her mother and her father, is that you don't know.
I don't know.
Not that you're sorry that she's missing. Not that you've been trying to help me all day find her, but you just wanted me to tell her I don't know.
I don't know.
Are you
where
a
she
sorry
is.
piece of shit that you want me to tell her that?
Now, he starts to get a little verbal there with him, right? But again, it's not. None of this is going to work with Steven. He does not respond to these normal human elements of, like, emotion and whatnot. I mean, how would he? Right? Look at what he did to this poor woman. So he's just not going to respond to it. And then now you start seeing the cop is going to escalate this to start kind of like name calling and whatnot. And I mean, it gets even more tawdry.
You got your ass on fucking news and stood out there and gave a media report that her mother saw about her missing daughter. And you want me to sit there and tell him that you don't know? Is that what you want me to tell him? Because you're all over the news. You sure stood out there and ran your mouth to the news media. But now you're going to get out here and you don't fucking know. You know. You're just a sorry piece of shit that don't give a fuck.
Well, I think he's going to have to wash his mouth out with a little bit of soap after this interrogation. Now, again, I ain't in this business. I don't do any of this, but in my opinion, I don't think that that's going to get them anywhere, right? Obviously, nothing else is. I mean, y'all, this is like just a few minutes into this whole thing, but to immediately already be in there calling him names, cussing at him, which, trust me, I get it. He is deserving of this, right? But trying to extract this information, it just feels like, well, you just kind of tried for a few minutes. When that gave up, you resorted to name calling and kind of like being the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? They really both, we're about to see like another cop or investigator enter into the scenario here. And really, they both just kind of resort to this. And that might be a tactic that works for some people. But again, it's just with someone like Steven, nothing works.
And everybody in Macon knows you knows because you got your sorry ass on the news and told everybody. So every friend you have in Macon knows that you know.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Why would you not be honest with me?
I am being honest.
Steven, it just doesn't feel like it, buddy. You know, I get the sense that there's something weighing heavy on your heart right now. And it's breaking you down.
Okay, so this new detective, really both of them, but especially the red shirt detective, that's what we'll call him, the red shirt detective. Okay, he literally sounds exactly like a principal of one of my schools that I went to. And so it's like, I'm instantly triggered by this dude, right? Of just like bad memories, okay? Like, he just so reminds me of that, and that whole thing of like, yeah, boy, what's your name? I caught you smoking out back. Come on, give me names. I want names, boy.
What I want you to do, I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to describe to me how you feel right now. You don't know how to answer that with a yes or no, do you?
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, my God, dude, it's very telling when he asks, what's going on right now? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That was his answer, right? And then he has thrown in a new phrase. He might have been thinking of this. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, my God, how is this dude able to do this? It literally becomes this, like at a certain point I was like, is this damn Saturday Night Live? Like, what am I watching?
Did you hurt Lauren?
No,
Steven, did you hurt Lauren?
no.
I know this is hard for you to tell it, but it's weighing on you right now, ain't it, Steven?
I didn't do it.
I literally feel like the detectives, and God bless them, I'm not trying to sit here and trash them or anything like that, but it's just, it feels like they might have just like done, like, you know, this is new, right? I mean, just this basic type stuff where they're tag teaming each other to come in there and they're just doing this very basic, like, I feel like something's weighing heavy on you. No, absolutely it's not. Absolutely it's not. The only thing weighing heavy on him is that he got caught, okay? Like, that's absolutely it. This guy has no remorse. He got on camera on live TV to form an alibi and had no issue doing that until he found out that remains were found while live on television, okay? That was the only thing that slowed his roll, was that he was getting caught. He might be found out. Literally was able to sit there and say kind words about a woman that he just did atrocious things to. So this is where I'm just like, yeah. And at a certain point, I guess with Steven, my question would be, just say you want to lawyer up and leave. Like, a lot of times I don't understand this, and sometimes I can see the pressure and the this and that, or I'm not trying to sit here and discount someone's experience who's been in this and might feel like they were coerced or whatever, but I'm not seeing that in this interrogation, right? Now, also for them, I just get to a point where I'm like, can we get some, I mean, if we have the probable cause, can we just, I know they want answers, but at a certain point, let's wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's move it along. Let's move it along.
And me and you both know it's no different than when you was a little kid, right? And you reached in that cookie jar and you got caught after your mama told you not to get that cookie. And she was, did you get a cookie? No. And whenever you tell a lie, you feel bad about it right then. One, with every lie, there's a chance you're going to get caught. And that weighs on you. Because you know you did something bad. Am I right?
I didn't do it.
You didn't take the cookie?
No.
How Stephen kept a straight face for that analogy, I do not know. That's where this guy lost me. I was like, bro, 100% he Googled that. 100% he just Googled that.
What'd you do after that?
I watched some videos online.
Did you clean up?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You smell like you've been cleaning up, like you've been using cleaner to clean up. I know what that smells like. My wife smells like that all the time when she cleans the house. You've been using some kind of cleaner to clean up your apartment, hadn't you?
No.
Stephen, you telling me you live like a man? How does your apartment get cleaned?
I clean it.
Okay. When was the last time you cleaned it, Stephen?
I don't remember.
Was it this week?
No.
You mean you go a whole week without cleaning?
Yes.
Why? That's horrible, Stephen.
My wife smells like that when she cleans the house. I was like, oh my God, really? But again, it doesn't matter. The evidence is overwhelming in this case, okay? At this point, and again, I'm not sure why they just don't arrest him at this point. Obviously, they want to get a confession. They want this. I mean, I get that, right? But again, you just see Stephen where he's just not going to budge, and they're just resorting to like these little tactics of shaming him for the cleaning thing. Obviously, they know what he did. You know what I'm saying? They know he cleaned up, right? I mean, they have this evidence. They're trying to get him to admit to any fraction of this crime. And at least here in this moment, he's just not going to do it. It doesn't matter what they say to him. And psychologically, it's fascinating to see a person be able to do this, because to me, it just proves how absolutely off Stephen is. It's completely unsettling watching him be able to just go through this, hands on the table, monotone voice, and be devoid of any kind of regular human interaction. Again, I'm just like, what was this dude like to be in class with?
I mean, then how were y'all friends? If me and you friends, we live next door to each other. Every time I look out when I see, oh, there's my buddy going in. Because we're friends. I'm going to pay attention to when you come in and out. Didn't you just tell me that y'all were friends?
Yes.
Again, just back to the, look at how much more animated the cop is. Hey, you know, oh yeah, we're friends, we're doing this, we're doing that. And absolutely nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. And it makes this interrogation so bizarre.
But you didn't pay attention to when she came in and out?
No.
Now we know that that's a lie, 100%. Everything coming out of Stephen's mouth is a lie. First of all, let's just get that straight, right? Even when I don't remember, this is completely a lie, we know this. But especially this, he was stalking the poor woman, right? He was spying on her. All the things that Lauren was saying she suspected were true, right? So if you are ever in a situation and your gut is telling you this, and again, Lauren did all the right things. She told her boy, she told people something's not right. Something's not right. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it was just too late. But she did all she could, right? It was like, you know, something doesn't seem right. Now, Stephen, we saw him in the police center, or the news clip. Clearly, he can carry himself in a situation. He might come off as weird and kind of like, but who's going to ever really suspect that someone's going to do something to this level, right? I mean, you're not anticipating that from somebody. Especially, I mean, this is 2011, right? I mean, things are so different now, right? I mean, maybe now you would, right? But again, it's completely unsettling and bizarre to me to see just how easily he lies and his demeanor.
You just lying. That's a lie. You ever see her come in and out of her apartment?
Yes.
You did? When was the last time?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Like last week, maybe?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Stephen, you understand that everything that you're saying here doesn't make any sense at all. None. None. You totally contradict everything that relates to human behavior.
Aim damn in, officer. I mean, my God. At least he called it out, okay? Because it is, and this is what makes this interrogation so fascinating. again, oftentimes when we see these things, we're not dealing with, a law student or a lawyer. You're not often dealing with people, I just call it in the industry, in the business, whether it's a cop, a lawyer, a judge, whatever. You're usually dealing with somebody who's just like a plain Jane, a citizen, whatever. And so they're, not versed in what they should do or how they should do it. But so many times, even if they are, they can't maintain this decorum that Stephen is able to do.
You asked if I watched. I didn't watch.
Have you noticed that she's came in and out of her house in the last week or two?
I don't remember.
Okay. I mean, it's not funny, but seeing him absolutely press these investigators, and this is where I just get to the point where I'm like, dudes, just send him away. Okay, this guy is not human, right? Okay, just like send him to main jail, whatever you gotta do with him. Okay, but also notice in the beginning of that clip where Stephen was like, you said, did I watch? And it's like, that particular where he's able to still correct the officer. Again, seeing a perpetrator, a suspect, whatever you want to call him at this point in time, control the narrative and the direction of this entire thing is just astounding.
You gotta be killing me, Steven. Steven. Steven, listen to me. We're real people, and we're here to talk to you. I'd like to think that we're friends, okay?
Even the officers are starting to laugh at this, right? I mean, it becomes laughable. That's how just unnerving this dude's behavior is. And his ability to sit there and just give nothing. It's like, dude, come on. We're all going mad here, right? But also this narrative of, I'd like to think of us as friends. It's just like, stop. Just stop. Okay, go back to the thing you said before where we're all real people. Just be real with him, dude. Let's go back to the line of talking of, I'm questioning if you're from this planet at this point, okay?
Friends communicate back and forth. The only thing you said is yes or no, and I don't know. Okay? It makes me feel like you're treating me like you don't like me. And I feel like I've looked out for you today. Everything you said you wanted, I've given you. I've tried to give you food several times. I feel like we talked. You told me about how you like to look at porn on the internet. You expressed to me that you're a virgin, correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff you tell friends. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, just ick. Okay, just ick. We could do without these mental images, right? However, this whole line of, I thought we were friends, buddy. I tried to give you food. You told me about what you like to look at on the internet. And I'm just like, that's no. He clearly knows what you're doing. No. He knows you're not friends. He knows you're not friends.
Steven, we're telling way too many lies in here.
So you're telling me they're lying?
You're willing to tell me that you're a virgin and that you told me you porn on the internet, but you don't want to admit to having another call. That makes me think you got something to hide, Steven. That concerns me.
Now, even though it's completely icky to listen to, it's also interesting that he's trying to do this whole thing of like going in for these, almost like these tactics of like these personalized things like this, like talking about something this personal to break the ice, to break Steven, whatever you want to call it, but also a huge contingency during this whole interview, or not whole interview, but a huge part of it is the secondary car, and he would not admit to this. They go question his grandfather, I mean, just the whole 9 yards. But again, we've seen him get on the news and lie, and he's lied through his teeth by just omitting stuff and saying he doesn't remember. So again, when you're deep into this interview, it just gets to the point where, my God, but also we've seen in these interrogations and stuff where they could be 3 hours deep, and that's when the person starts talking and breaking down. So I understand that they just have to keep going and repeating it and all this kind of stuff, but as we will see, it's a no-go in the answer department.
Yes.
You telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good. You never thought that?
Now, I have two feelings about this. Yes, I get they're trying to get him to answer anything. Clearly, we know that they're trying to get into his mind or whatever, but it's just the delivery of it and listening to it where I'm like, this is creepy. But again, Steven's the one that did this creepy stuff to him, right? But I'm just like, if he's not going to admit to something basic, I don't think he's going to admit to the creepy stuff that he did with her, right?
I don't understand.
What do you mean you don't understand? You know how when you're sitting there, you see a girl walking down the road, and you say, man, that girl looks good. You ever see a good-looking girl on the road, you think to yourself, man, that girl looks good?
Yes.
You never thought that about her?
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you look at porn on the internet and get off to that, but you never looked at her and said, man, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with her?
Yes.
You have?
No.
This officer is done. You saw in the beginning where she's like head on the table, and then that end thing where he's like, I mean, he literally, Steven just has you going, he has you questioning your sanity, okay? Imagine him in law classes. Imagine him as a lawyer. And I mean, and I'm not one that likes to sit here and be like, wow, you would have been a really great thing. Remember like the whole Ted Bundy thing where the judge was like talking about what a waste of life it was? I'm like, what? You know what he just did to all these women? Like, no, I don't care if it's true or not. We don't say that in the courtroom. But you have to wonder with Steven, as a criminal defense lawyer, I mean, this dude, literally, if he could probably sit here and show somebody, this is what you do when you are being interrogated. Now, again, obviously, I hate to even sit here and say that about somebody who would do such monstrous things to poor Lauren Giddings.
Have you ever thought about what it would be like to have sex with Lauren?
No.
You've never imagined having sex with Lauren?
No.
Have you ever had sex with Lauren?
No.
He just cuts to the chase with this one and goes into all this. Now, of course, Steven's not going to want to admit to any of this type stuff because he already knows, right? They probably know just, you know, what's taking place, right? So the officer, and again, I get he's trying to get into all these particulars and break him down and go for any level and like hit the hard-hitting questions, but it's difficult to listen to, and then again just to see Steven in denial of such things. But I would not expect him to admit to anything like this if he's not going to admit to the basic stuff that we've started off with.
What do you know about that body we found today?
I don't know.
You don't know? What if I told you that I believe that you do know?
I don't.
What if I told you that I could prove it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Is there a chance? But you do admit that there's a chance that I possibly have evidence to show that you do have something to do with that body, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? Because if I hadn't done anything, I'd say, nope, there's no way. But you say you don't know. Why is that? Why do you say you don't know? Is there a chance that maybe something's there?
No.
Why did you say you don't know?
Because I don't know.
Because you're worried about something? Maybe something that happened that...
I mean, it's literally exhausting. I mean, he sticks to this and he just swerves this questioning so easily. I mean, it makes me wonder if they use this, like this, whatever you call it, this police department, this county, whatever, is like a learning tool for investigations going forward.
None of other Lawrence friends saw blood, but I know now that blood was there. And now I believe you saw it. You saw that blood. You know that blood was there. And that's why you're worried about it.
No.
Did you know? Why do you have blood up in the inside of your nose?
I don't know.
The officer, poor guy, he's literally talking like, you know, in Scooby-Doo at the end when they see it and they're like, and then this is what happened. He's like, has all this like, and then Steven just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like such a letdown for him, you know what I'm saying? Because again, they have all this crazy evidence and it has to be frustrating, right? It has to be incredibly frustrating to just have this overwhelming evidence, but having the suspect absolutely not being willing to break on any kind of level. Nope, no sir, none whatsoever.
That's right. There's blood in your apartment. Stephen, this is hard, buddy. I know this is hard. And I can tell it's on you. You want to let it go. There's blood in your apartment, Stephen. You didn't get it all up. It didn't all come off. You scrubbed and you wiped. But we can tell that. Don't you wipe CSI? Yeah, we know it.
100% I get this vibe that this had been like back in the day, like before cameras and stuff, they would have totally kicked his ass.
You even know how to load it?
Yes.
What kind of rounds it take?
7.62 39.
Okay. What's the capacity of that clip that you had?
30 rounds.
What's it loaded?
Well,
Is it loaded?
the magazine is full.
Okay. You got a round in the chamber?
No.
Why not?
Safer that way.
Safer. It's just you in the apartment, right?
Yes.
Why do you think it's safer that way?
No chance of it getting knocked over and going off.
I mean, no one lives with you. It's just you.
Bullets can travel distance.
Well, how do you know that?
I've read up about it.
Well,
Now, this was just so weird. You know, why would you have the gun safety on? Because so it doesn't get knocked over. Why is that? Bullets can travel distances. How do you know that? I know he's trying to keep the detectives, he's trying to keep the story going, but it's just so bad. Like, I would be pooping in my pants if I was Steven. Let's just be honest. I wouldn't have made it past the pretend that like I was brazen enough to get on the cameras and do all that, and then like I'd actually not been arrested before we got to this part. You know what I'm saying? I would have confessed instantly, right? I would have gotten past, what's your name? I would have been crying and confessed and all that stuff. But now we're this deep into it, and Steven is able to just like remain completely neutral. It's almost like one of those human beings that's like able to control their heart rate. You know what I mean? Like he could pass a lie detector test because he could control those kind of things about his body or something. So like these answers that he's coming up with, bullets can travel distances. And it's also low key, completely like a snarky smart-ass answer, right? But it's true. It's like most anyone with any kind of, I mean, in my opinion, if you have guns in the house, there's usually the safety or something's on for this very reason, like gun safety and whatnot, because you don't want it going off, right? Now, I could be wrong on that, but I mean, that's how my dad was like in our house or whatever. So anyways, but these answers just, they blow my mind how he's able to do that. Let's continue.
You enjoy doing that kind of work?
Yes.
So you should be able to help me, right?
Yes.
Because you're on our side, right?
Yes.
Alright. What do you think I need to do?
I don't know.
There we go again with that I don't know. Come on now. You can give me some advice. Right?
Yeah, they're just breaking down. They're asking him for advice. They're like doing a damn consultation with him at this point. They're like, can we cut him a consultation fee, see if he'll confess to that? We're desperate.
Does she work anywhere?
I don't know.
Do you ever get tired of saying I don't know?
It's a legit question, Stephen. We all want to know it at this point.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to people that he works with and everything. They talk about how he's always expresses himself.
But he don't know.
He's very talkative. Stephen, they say you're so talkative, buddy, that you're always so friendly. You stop in and say hello, and you talk. Why is it that you're acting so short with us tonight? If you have all this character and personality about you, why is it that everything that we get from you is yes, no, or I don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah, they really set themselves up for that. Oh my God, y'all. I mean, it's just, I would have flipped the table if I was these two guys at this point. Because that's the thing, you saw him in that interview and like, okay, so here's the thing. People like Steven, you don't know what you're getting. The candid nice guy or whatever is probably an act. Obviously this is an act, but he just doesn't break. And at a certain point, you would almost expect Steven to start laughing because you feel like that's just what he's doing. He's just messing with them at this point. Like he's getting some form of entertainment out of torturing these poor detectives.
That's right, buddy. See that? Look at it. See how easy? It happens. And it happened to you. Why, Stephen?
I don't understand.
Oh, you understand? You understand exactly what I'm saying. See this stuff right here, your hair? Yeah, it fell out of your head when you was moving the body, Stephen.
Again, just seeing the difference in how animated the detective is and how absolutely nonchalant Steven is. And just again, I don't understand. I mean, my God. My hat is off to the detectives for remaining as cool and not losing their damn jobs over this dude, right?
Why'd you do it, Stephen?
I didn't do it.
Stephen, why are you going to keep telling that? You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Stephen.
Now you see, he is literally just pissing these dudes off at this point because again, remember this whole time they have known overwhelming evidence. You've heard some of it. Hair, blood. Y'all, they found the hacksaw packaging, all this stuff. This was, okay, you know how all these people, when I say all these people, I mean these perpetrators like Steven, they go to like Walmart and do this. This was the Walmart situation, like going to get the M kit from Walmart before that was a thing, right? He had it all in his apartment. He had keys to everyone's apartment. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. So to sit there and listen to this dude the entire time, be like, I don't know. I'm scared. I think I just wet my pants.
You hurt this girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You hurt that girl.
Oh, he was working that picture, right? He's ready to flip the table. Okay, he's ready to go off.
Did y'all have sex?
No.
Did you try to have sex?
No.
You think about having sex?
No.
Liar. What kind of man doesn't think about having sex?
Honestly, I think Steven's probably not completely lying to this because I have a feeling that his idea of those thoughts is completely different from any other person.
The news media knows it. Glenda knows it, your mother. Your sister knows it. Your sister's husband knows it. The one that used to beat your sister, he knows it. You know what he said? He said he's a crazy motherfucker is what he said when I called him. That's your own family calling you crazy. Your own family said you're crazy.
Again, this would not surprise me. Just seeing the little bit that we see of Steven, I mean, if you raised this child or were around him, you would have had to have seen the signs for it to be like, okay, no, I'm not trying to blame them saying like, oh, they could see this particular situation coming or anything like that. But this seems like one of these things where it's like, yep, doesn't surprise us. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe the heinousness of it could have been a shock or whatever. But again, now also this line of questioning that they're going into with the personalization of his mother, the family members, this is something I would have liked to have seen maybe earlier, maybe bringing this in earlier in the situation when it started to become evident that he wasn't going to respond to this like basic line of questioning of we're your friend and we gave you a sandwich and that kind of stuff. Like I feel like maybe they could have gotten somewhere with this, but as we will see, it doesn't get anywhere either.
Nobody wants to see you. Nobody's coming to visit you. So you can sit there with that dumb look on your face. But it's over. You enjoyed yourself and it's all over now. Okay? Anything you want to say? I don't know.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say. But I'm telling you, you did. Okay? Simple as that. You're not in charge, I am. I just took it away from you. That's one thing you can't change, brother. You can't change that. You are no longer in charge of anything.
Now, again, he uses another one. I didn't do anything. And again, I think going with this line of questioning also of everyone's going to forget about you, everyone's going to do this, because I do wonder eventually if he had gotten away with this. I feel like Stephen would have gone on to continue to do this over and over. I think that a lot of the stuff that he did, and especially in this heinous fashion, to I don't want to say a random person, because he obviously knew her. There was something going on there, but in a sense, a random person in the way of like, why Lauren? Why, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I lashed out at my parents, I lashed out at my brother. You know, he wasn't even in a relationship with her. So this makes me think, who was going to be the next woman?
The sad thing about it is you probably could have made something with your life. But you chose a different route because, one, you don't have a girlfriend, and two, you're never going to get a girlfriend.
He left out one option. He might end up being somebody's girlfriend, though.
Works both ways, brother. Works both ways. Ain't gonna be no more yelling. Ain't nobody gonna yell at you. They're gonna come in here and cry and kiss you goodbye. I'm gonna take their statement and it's all over. You do understand that, right?
I didn't do anything.
That's what you say. That's what you say. Because you haven't told us anything.
Again, I like this line of questioning, this line of where he's going with this of, you're going to be forgotten, you're going to go into oblivion, because that's what happened, right? Situations like this, it's better to have the memory of the victim lived on, as opposed to Stephen. And again, I don't know if Stephen's motivation at this point in his career, and what I mean by that is I do think he would have gone on to do this multiple times. I don't think it was for attention, I don't think that, but I think it could have devolved into that. And I think that it could have gone in that trajectory, right? And so this whole thing of you're going to be forgotten by your family and everybody, I mean, and who knows, maybe they have or not, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, I'm also, with these cases, I'm also fascinated by the psychology of what do you do when your family member does something completely heinous like this. You know, how do you look them in the eye ever again, right? So I have one more clip. Let's look at that.
Do you realize what I'm telling you? Okay. Well, you sit there and think about it a little bit, okay? I'll come back and check on you.
Now the officer clearly doesn't leave, and he stays around for a while, right? But eventually will leave, and basically it's left off with we're waiting for the mother and all these people to get down there. He's just not going to break. So like I said, eventually Stephen would end up confessing to the crime right before his trial. At least the victims, you know, Lauren, Giddings, family members didn't have to go through that, right? Now also, Stephen has continued to appeal his conviction. And according to this article here, he's filing the court system to vacate his conviction and guilty plea and release him from prison. On May 30th of 2022, he filed a habeas corpus petition in the United States District Court for the Middle District of Georgia. The appeal claims that former District Attorney Greg Winters and his prosecution team illegally received forms that were a core part of the defense. McDaniel says a deputy with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office removed petitioners' legal information request forms from the mail without lawful authority, copied and emailed them to DA Winters, who was handling prosecution. It also says that McDaniel says in January 2013, the newly elected District Attorney David Cook took office and notified defense attorneys about the theft of defense information. And the filing goes on to say that the court was not notified and no corrective action was taken. Now, this wasn't the first time that he's tried to vacate this. I personally do not see him ever getting out. I hope he never gets out for the safety of the public, and also so that Lauren's family doesn't have to be victimized by this monster ever again. Now, if you want to see me talk about the most recent trial that went down, Darrell Brooks, click the video that is popping up right now because it is a hot mess.